video today to talk a little bit about your supplements and just making sure you know what you're taking and know what you need to be taking. I think a lot of people, including myself, typically you just listen to what your trainer or whoever you work with tells you to do, and you do it and sometimes don't really think twice about it. And this is something I've done before, which ends up not working out so well. So I specifically want to talk a little bit about vitamin D. I wasn't feeling that well lately. I hadn't been feeling the greatest. And, you know, I did 3 competitions this year. So I decided to go to the doctor and just get some blood work, make sure everything was okay. You know, I didn't take anything crazy, I always say, but I did take fat burners and things like that. So I thought it was a good idea to go to the doctor, get some blood work done, and just make sure I didn't screw anything up. I always worry about screwing up my thyroid levels, just because some of the times those fat burners can alter your thyroid hormones. So I wanted to get everything checked out, make sure everything was good. So the doctor calls me, I get my blood work back, and he says, everything is great, Kara, everything looks excellent except your vitamin D level. And I thought, okay, that's odd. I know I supplement, you know, I try to get as much sun as I can, you know, it'd be weird if I was deficient. He then tells me I came back with a toxic level of vitamin D, which, you know, he said to me in his 30-something years of practicing, he's never seen it before. So I thought it was odd because, you know, being a registered dietitian, I almost never see that either. And I also live in central New York, so our sunlight here throughout the year is limited. So I was like, that's crazy. So my level ended up being 162, which a healthy level is 32 to 100. So I came back extremely high. So then we got talking a little bit about what supplements I take. You know, he thought maybe it was a false reading. But because I take supplements and stuff, you know, we figured it probably wasn't. It got me thinking though, I was really surprised to think I was toxic, that I'm taking too much. You know, I'm like, man, I've been really good about taking my supplements every night, you know, this, that, and the other thing. So I came home and took a look at my supplements. Needless to say, I found out I'm definitely consuming way too much vitamin D with my supplementation program. Let me just stop for a second and say, you know, a lot of people, it's funny, the people I work with, they're like, is it because of that protein stuff you take? Do you think you take too much protein? And I'm like, not even related here. Not related. You know, people see you take a protein shake and you're taking in too many crazy vitamins. It's really hard to get vitamin D in the food that you eat. It's nearly impossible to get enough. So in order to be toxic from your diet, probably not going to happen. One of the main sources that you can get vitamin D from in your diet is fatty fish, which I do consume a little of that, but it's, again, really, really difficult to get enough vitamin D from the food you eat. It's one of the few things a dietitian will tell you you do need to supplement, even though we commonly say get as much of your vitamins and minerals as you can from food in its natural state because your body processes it better. So this is one of those times that usually dietitians, doctors, they tell you supplement. So I have been supplementing probably for quite a while now, but consistently like the past six months, 3 to 6 months, I've been really good with my supplements. So anyways, from the food, probably not, okay? So I went home, took a look at my supplements. I typically use Now supplements, which I love, by the way. I don't know what supplements you guys use out there, but Now I think does have a good supplement line and they're very affordable. So anyways, what I normally take is a multivitamin. So I took a look at my bottle of multivitamin, and it has for vitamin D in it 400 IUs. Vitamin D is an international unit, so there's 400 international units in my multivitamin alone. I take coral calcium. There's vitamin D in this as well. It helps the absorption of calcium, so usually they do combine those together. So another 400 IUs in my calcium, so there's 800. And then I also take vitamin D3 on top of it. This is 5,000 international units, and this is, on here it says highest potency, which I of course never even noticed until now really taking a closer look at it. So this is 5,001. So typically I would get a total of, you know, about 50 5,800 IUs, which the recommendation for vitamin D is 600 international units, but there is a lot of research out there to support getting upwards of 5,000 because there's just overall benefits from it and not a lot of harm noted with getting adequate vitamin D since most people don't get enough of it. So the recommendation is about 5,000. On top of this, I'm going to tell you that on occasion I would take Viactives. I don't know if you guys know what Viactives are, but again, it's another supplement. It's like a little chew, like a little chocolate chew. I always thought of it as just a calcium supplement, not thinking to look at the amount of vitamin D that's also present in those little chews. And they're chocolate and they taste good, so sometimes I'd eat 2 a day. So we're talking 2 a day of those, and I forget how much vitamin D is in those. I think it's like 800 or something. So between the Viactive chews and this, I was getting way over the amount of vitamin D3 vitamin D that I needed. And probably a few years ago, I did have a bone density scan done, and my vitamin D levels were normal. So I probably was taking in way too much vitamin D than was even necessary. Some of the side effects for being toxic, they're not as common, but it did say you could be nauseous, not really feel so good. It could contribute to changes in your appetite. So I'm not 100% sure, but that could equate for why I was feeling kind of crappy every day. And my doctor did say, you know, you're going to want to probably cut back on your supplements. Let's just stop. So I did stop taking the 5,000 IUs. Now, this isn't to say that all of you guys don't need to supplement with vitamin D. Most people do. But I guess the point of this video that I wanted to bring to your attention is I'm a dietitian. I feel like I'm pretty knowledgeable about what I put into my body and why I put it into my body. I am a firm believer if you can get it from food in its natural state, always do that. And if you get a well-balanced diet, a lot of times you don't need the supplements. With that said though, this was still a miss on my part, and I was throwing in extra things in my body I didn't need. Vitamin D it's a fat-soluble vitamin. So what that means is it's stored in your body's fat cells. You don't just excrete it. It's not water-soluble. So it gets stored up in your body. So if you're constantly having an excessive intake of it through supplements, not typically food, you could get a toxic level. So I just thought it was really interesting. I felt kind of dumb that, you know, this happened, but now I'm aware of it, and hopefully for you guys, maybe you'll use this video to take a look at your supplement routine, critique what you're taking. Do you really need to be taking it? What are you getting in your diet? And just take a closer look at that. So if you guys are interested in more supplement type videos, in my opinion, let me know, because I'd be glad to do more of those. I know I haven't done that many. Hopefully I haven't bored you too much to death, but just be careful. Too much is not always a good thing, you guys. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with other people, and keep checking back.